Hello there, lovely people. It's Alex from Nintendo Life here, and welcome back to Alex Asks. And wow, the last episode did get an awful lot of views. I think some people were a little bit disappointed because they didn't actually find a pre-order in there, which, But anyway, last time I asked you, lovely lot, what characters do you want to see appear in Super Mario Odyssey, and what should they do? Well, here's just what a few of you had to say. But before we start, quick shout out to Paul Donaldson, because ukulele socks. I don't deserve a friend as good as you. Kicking things off, Ryan G said, I would like to see Super Mario version of the McDonald's Happy Meal guy in Super Mario Odyssey. Yes, that guy. I can't do it. I can't do it. It's the moustache. I just can't do it. It just... Basin McKinnon says, I'm thinking maybe a Bobon street gang with bandanas in that city area. That's quite a cool idea. It would be actually like the bomber gang from Majora's Mask, but they're actually bombs. It would actually make sense for a change. Why were they called the bomber gang or the bombers? Never looked into that. I'm not entirely sure how well they fit in with the rest of the aesthetic of the actual real people, but... well, then again, Mario's already there, isn't he? As is Bowser and Peach, so yeah, go for it, dude. Ryan Schneider says, Phanto as an enemy or a wearable hat? Maybe both. We're back onto Majora's Mask already, aren't we? Have we actually seen Phanto in any game other than Super Mario Bros. 2? And if anybody says Super Mario USA Edition, you're gonna get a slap. Jawain Star says, I would love to see Baby Bowser and what he would wear for the wedding. Oh, that's the wrong wear. Who doesn't invite their only son to their wedding? I did not see Baby Bowser in the trailer, and I'm afraid I'm gonna have to be a little bit pedantic here. I think you're thinking of Bowser Jr. Baby Bowser is Bowser as a child. It's not really important, but I'd be really surprised if we didn't see Bowser Jr. at all. I nearly said Baby Bowser, then you've ruined my brain. Yeah, I imagine he's gonna show up. I mean, he's a real staple to the series and everybody loves him. If they don't, then you can kindly leave this video or just stay, because everyone's allowed to have an opinion. Super10ZX, yes, that's right, Z not Z, welcome to the UK, said, question, my favourite Mario character is Forful, but I don't expect him to return. Not really a question. A character I would like to see, and I think is possible, is King K Rool. Now, I'm a big fan of King K Rool. I think he's a really fun, sort of silly character that really, can be seen as really evil in a sense just because of his ridiculous ideals, and I'm not sure where I'm going with this. But could he appear in a Mario game? Well, it's certainly not beyond the realms of possibility. I mean, kind of a rare character, but I think he appeared in like a baseball game or something, and that was the last time he appeared. But I like King K Rool. And if he's back, that's only going to make me smile. It's New Donk City, it works! Eva Diva says, I want to see Koopalings make a return. It's been too long. Haven't the Koopalings been in like nearly every single Mario game except like Super Mario 3D World for the last too long? I mean, they were in New Super Mario Bros, they're in all the New Super Mario Bros, aren't they? Except the first one, I think. All I know is I like the Koopalings, but I've had enough of them. Agathor747's Gaming says that blue guy from Mario RPG that I forgot the name of. Well, I'm going to do a service for everyone now, and I'm going to Google blue character from Super Mario RPG and see what turns up. God, of course it's Geno, isn't it? I forgot Geno was blue. That really does make... Geno. Yeah, Geno. Yeah. Red Discord says, I would like to see Pimp Wario in the new Mario game. Kind of like Pimp Bowser, but Pimp Wario be like 100 times better. Yeah, I think a Pimp Wario could work quite well. I mean, maybe if you actually dressed him up as an actual pimp. I mean, I know I said Bowser's and all that pimp get up, but it's more sort of like a white wedding suit. So not really a pimp, but actually having Wario as a pimp would be quite interesting, or at least dress like a pimp. Maybe we don't want to get into that whole sort of area. And then So Punny made it so much better by saying, what if Pimp Wario and Waluigi were working together with Bowser? Pimp Waluigi, that's an image I'm never gonna forget. And I love it. Drew Arnett says, Pixel Donkey Kong in New Donk City to reference Pixels. To be honest, I don't think we need any reference to Pixels. I hated that film. I haven't even seen it. I read the synopsis when we were covering it at one point on the site, and I think I died a little inside. Cordell Williams says, even though they are more rare characters, I would like to see the other Kongs that appeared in DK64. You know, tiny, lanky Kong, yes. I love Lanky Kong, I really do. And the other one I can't remember. Oh, there are so many, I assume you mean Chunky Kong, but there are so many Kongs. We haven't seen them since that game, that's true for the most part, except Lanky Kong was in Barrel Blast and Tiny Kong was in I believe the last game that featured any of the sort of the crazier Kongs, which was, what was it, Diddy Kong Racing DS? Tiny Kong was in that, and for some reason she was a teenager. It was kind of weird. Sebastian Schulz, I think that's how you pronounce it, says, I wished Odyssey would bring Wario back as an actual villain. That's an interesting idea, actually, because Wario for the longest time has just sort of been like a background character, or he's been in his own things, like WarioWare and things like that, which is great, you know, sort of love me a bit of WarioWare, but he hasn't been a villain in a very long time. That could be interesting. Juan Mr. Froggy Buck says Waluigi has to appear, but I would want to see Yoshi playable like in Super Mario 64 DS and multiplayer. Yeah, Yoshi would be cool. I don't know whether he'd be playable in that same way. As far as I can tell, that's the only time in a 3D game Yoshi's been playable in that way, so more like a Mario game as opposed to like a Yoshi game or something like that. And they've never been in 3D. Maybe 3D graphics, but not actually 3D games. And then of course there's the wah! Take note, he's got to be in it. Harvey Austin said, we need everyone in a top hat. Luigi in a top hat, Daisy in a top hat, Waluigi in a top hat, Wario in a top hats most importantly, Rosalina in a space top hat. I'd like to know what defines a space top hat, but I know whatever it is, it's glorious. And finally, Jonathan Dirk says, it would be funny if one of the humans walking around New Donk City was Shigeru Miyamoto. You know, I can actually see them doing that, just, you know, slipping a little cameo in, somebody who just, you know, is Miyamoto, and maybe it's just one of the random people walking around. That would be so cool. Imagine if they did that with Bill Trinan as well, or something like that. Just Shigeru Miyamoto or anyone, any real person walking around. But just like no special interaction or anything like that, but it's just, they're just there. Just a little way for the developers to sneak in a little real-life Nintendo reference. I say, go for it, dude. Massive thanks to everybody who left a comment. Unfortunately, I can't read all of your comments out because there were 2,000 of the buggers last time, but you do get a chance to get one of your comments read out in the next episode. Now, a little bit different this time. I was actually inspired by, well, I wouldn't maybe say a majority, but a good 50% chunk of all the comments left on the previous video. Well, they weren't actually answering the question, which is fine because, you know, it's comments. But they were mainly people saying how they didn't like the Switch. Which is probably just a side effect of so many people seeing the video. In fact, here's an accurate representation of what it was like for me to go through all those comments. And so, my question for you this week is, what problems do you have with the Nintendo Switch? Is it the battery life? Is it the power? Is it the Joy-Cons? Or, you know, the fact that you got to buy additional storage? Let me know what you don't like about the Nintendo Switch, what your issues with it are. Even if you really like it, I'm not looking for a really negative view, just even if you really like it, what don't you like about it? Let's be objective, let's talk about the negatives, and let me know what you think down there in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, then why don't you give me a detailed report of why you don't like that subscribe button and why your subscribe button is so much better, and be sure to check out NintendoLife.com for all sorts of lovely Nintendo related content. Thank you again for watching, bye bye.